China's car market is sputtering. After years of booming growth, sales have hit a speed bump. In recent months, sales have fallen by 5%. This decline is a warning sign for the world's largest auto market. It reflects a broader slowdown in the Chinese economy. Consumer spending is down and people are hesitant to make big purchases. The auto industry is feeling the pinch. This slump is a sharp contrast to the past. For decades, China's auto market was a shining star. Sales soared as millions of Chinese consumers bought their first cars. Global automakers rushed to build factories in China to tap into this lucrative market. Now the party seems to be over. The slowdown in China is sending ripples through the global auto industry. The question on everyone's mind is whether this is a temporary blip or a sign of deeper trouble. Some analysts believe the market will rebound once the economy recovers. Others are more pessimistic, predicting a prolonged period of slower growth. One thing is certain, the Chinese auto industry is at a crossroads. China's auto industry isn't alone in its struggles. The global auto market is facing its own set of challenges. A worldwide economic slowdown is dampening demand for cars. Rising interest rates are making it more expensive to finance a new car purchase. And supply chain disruptions lingering from the pandemic are still causing production delays and driving up costs. This confluence of factors has created a perfect storm for the auto industry. Automakers are feeling the squeeze from all sides. They are facing pressure to cut costs and improve efficiency. At the same time, they need to invest heavily in new technologies such as electric vehicles and autonomous driving to stay competitive. The slowdown in China is exacerbating these challenges. China is the world's largest car market, accounting for roughly 30% of global sales. A prolonged slump in China could have a ripple effect throughout the global auto industry, forcing automakers to rethink their strategies and make tough choices about where to invest their resources. Faced with a slumping auto market, the Chinese government is taking action. Beijing has announced a series of measures aimed at boosting car sales. These include tax breaks for electric vehicle buyers, subsidies for trade-ins of older vehicles, and easier access to car loans. The government is also encouraging local governments to introduce their own stimulus measures. These interventions are a sign that the government is taking the slowdown in the auto industry seriously. The auto industry is a major employer in China, and a prolonged slump could have significant economic and social consequences. The government is hoping that its actions will help to restore confidence in the market and encourage consumers to start buying cars again. However, it remains to be seen whether these measures will be enough to offset the headwinds facing the industry. Some analysts argue that the government's interventions are too little too late. They point out that the tax breaks for electric vehicles are relatively small and that many consumers are still hesitant to buy cars, even with government incentives. The slowdown in China's auto market is creating winners and losers. Some automakers are weathering the storm better than others. BYD, a Chinese company that specializes in electric vehicles, is a prime example. BYD has seen its sales surge in recent months thanks to strong demand for its affordable electric cars and government subsidies. In contrast, GAC, a traditional Chinese automaker that produces gasoline-powered cars, is struggling. GAC's sales have plummeted as consumers shift away from gas guzzlers and towards more fuel-efficient vehicles. The company has been forced to cut production and lay off workers. The diverging fortunes of BYD and GAC illustrate the profound transformation underway in China's auto industry. The shift towards electric vehicles is accelerating, driven by government policy, environmental concerns, and technological advances. Automakers that are slow to adapt to this new reality are likely to be left behind. Section 5. The electric car price war heats up. The electric vehicle market in China is becoming increasingly competitive, with both domestic and international players vying for market share. This competition is driving down prices, which is good news for consumers, but bad news for automakers' profit margins. Tesla recently slashed prices on its Model 3 and Model Y cars in China to boost sales. Tesla's price cuts have put pressure on other automakers to follow suit. Chinese EV startups such as XPeng and NIO have also reduced prices. This price war is likely to intensify as automakers fight for market share. Many are selling their EVs at a loss to gain market share. Eventually, something will have to give. Section 6. Chinese automakers seek greener pastures abroad. Faced with a slowing domestic market, Chinese automakers are increasingly looking overseas for growth. They are targeting emerging markets in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Africa, where demand for cars is still strong. Chinese automakers are also making inroads into developed markets in Europe and North America. Chinese automakers have a number of advantages in these markets. They benefit from lower labor costs and government support. They are also adept at producing affordable cars that appeal to budget-conscious consumers. However, Chinese automakers also face challenges. They need to overcome perceptions of lower quality and build brand recognition in new markets. The success of Chinese automakers in global markets will depend on their ability to adapt to local tastes and preferences. They will need to develop cars that meet the specific needs of consumers in each market. They will also need to build strong relationships with local dealers and distributors. Section 7. Can Chinese cars conquer the world? Chinese automakers have come a long way in a short period of time. They have gone from being imitators to innovators. They are now producing some of the most technologically advanced cars in the world. But can they conquer the global auto industry? The answer is far from certain. Chinese automakers still have a lot to prove. They need to demonstrate that they can consistently produce high-quality cars that meet the expectations of global consumers. They also need to build strong brands that can compete with established players. The global auto industry is undergoing a period of unprecedented change. The rise of electric vehicles, autonomous driving, and connected cars is disrupting the status quo. Chinese automakers are well positioned to capitalize on these trends. They have the technology, the manufacturing might, and the government support to become major players in the global auto industry. But they will need to move quickly and decisively to seize the opportunity. Section 8, the road ahead, uncertainty and opportunity. The Chinese auto industry faces a challenging but exciting future. The slowdown in the domestic market is a wake-up call for automakers. They need to innovate, adapt, and compete globally. Chinese automakers have many ingredients for success. A large domestic market serves as a testing ground. They have access to capital and a skilled workforce, and they have government support. The next few years are critical. Will they rise to the challenge or fall behind? Section 9, the EV Conundrum, promise and uncertainty. Electric vehicles are widely seen as the future of the auto industry, but the transition to an EV-dominated market is proving to be anything but smooth. While sales of EVs are growing rapidly, they still account for a small fraction of overall car sales, and the economics of EVs remain challenging. Battery costs are still high, which makes EVs more expensive than comparable gasoline-powered cars. And while the public charging infrastructure is improving, it is still not as widespread or convenient as the network of gas stations. These factors are holding back mass adoption of EVs. Chinese automakers are betting big on EVs. They are investing heavily in battery technology. They are developing new EV models. They are building out charging infrastructure. But it is still unclear whether EVs will be the silver bullet that propels Chinese automakers to global dominance. Section 10, China's auto industry at a crossroads. The Chinese auto industry is at a pivotal moment in its history. After decades of rapid growth, it is facing a slowdown in the domestic market, intense competition from global rivals, and the disruptive forces of technological change. How the industry responds to these challenges will determine its future. The Chinese government is playing a key role in shaping the industry's direction. It is providing subsidies and other incentives to promote the development and adoption of electric vehicles. It is also tightening regulations on emissions and fuel economy, which is forcing automakers to develop cleaner and more efficient vehicles. The choices that Chinese automakers make today will have far-reaching consequences. Will they be able to overcome their current challenges and emerge as global leaders in the auto industry of the future? Or will they be left behind as the world transitions to a new era of mobility? Section 11, navigating a complex and evolving landscape. The Chinese auto industry is operating in an increasingly complex and uncertain environment. The global economy is fragile, Geopolitical tensions are rising and the pace of technological change is accelerating. Automakers need to be agile and adaptable to survive and thrive in this environment. One of the biggest challenges facing Chinese automakers is the ongoing trade war between the United States and China. The tariffs imposed by both countries are disrupting global supply chains and increasing costs for automakers. The trade war is also creating uncertainty and making it difficult for automakers to plan for the future. Another challenge is the rapid pace of technological change. The auto industry is on the cusp of a major transformation, driven by the convergence of electrification, automation, and connectivity. Automakers that are slow to adapt to these changes risk being left behind. Section 12. The stakes are high for China's auto ambitions. The stakes for China's auto industry are high. The industry is a major driver of economic growth and employment in China. It is also a source of national pride. The Chinese government has made it clear that it wants China to become a global leader in the auto industry. The success or failure of China's auto industry will have implications not just for China but for the global auto industry as a whole. If Chinese automakers are able to overcome their current challenges and achieve global dominance, it will reshape the competitive landscape of the industry. The world is watching closely to see how the Chinese auto industry will navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. The next few years will be critical. Section 13. A new era for the global automotive industry. The global auto industry is entering a new era. The old rules no longer apply. The rise of China, the shift to electric vehicles, and the growing importance of software and data are transforming the industry in profound ways. The automakers that will succeed in this new era will be those that are able to embrace change, innovate relentlessly, and adapt to the evolving needs of consumers. They will need to be global in their outlook, agile in their operations, and committed to sustainability. The future of the auto industry is being written right now, and it is being written in China.